All right, so quick little recap on today's price action. Today is February 20th. It's Friday. Well, it's currently 11:12, but we got something. We got a little trade going in today. Let's see. So, okay. So this is a quick replay. So we ended up taking one trade. It went break even, but I did take out a contract out at a 101 RR and then I left runners, but then I got stopped out at break even, right? So at open, cool. So at open, looking at this 15, right? 15-minute chart, right? We have previously highs sitting up here and we have buy side liquidity sitting above us, these swing highs, right? Initially, I was very off and I was really off in terms of my bias because we had this large, there was a large daily gap right here, which we had just tapped into. And I'm here thinking maybe we're delivering from that gap. But in the 4 hour, I'm kind of prioritizing the 4 hour here for potential entry. So because we were having this displacement right here, right? We not displacement, we were having this trend going up here, right? We had a high, a low, a high, a low, and we were kind of pushing up, right? What I was kind of looking at was that this 4 hour gap was holding a lot of bullish order flow. We were still respecting this bullish gap right here, right? We had not confirmed any bearish intent just yet, especially because once again this 4 hour gap was still holding. We still have a small little gap right here, as well, which also held up. Yeah, we were holding this 4 hour gap. We tapped into this. We tapped into FEG. We tapped into previous lows, and we also took out this internal low down here as well. From here, right? Right, it's happened between that. It's happened at between the 9:15 candle. Hold on, let me just actually zoom in a little bit more. When bam, bam, bam. Right, so this is the 9:30 candle, I believe. Hold up. Yeah. So this is a 9:30 candle. The 9:30 candle opens, right? And we just kind of expand upwards, right? So we had just taken out liquidity below us, previously lows. And once again, this swing low right here below us. And we just kind of manipulated upwards. So like I said, I was looking for longs here. Initially I was leaning bullish, but my bias was a little loose. Once again, kind of wanted to see what happened with the 4 hour gap. At the end, we ended up respecting the gap, right? So I was holding my bullish what do you call it? My bullish bias, right, towards previously highs. Buy side liquidity sitting right above us, which is these relatively equal highs, and we did also have London session highs sitting right above us here, as well. So yeah, I was pretty much looking for longs here, right? So we just kind of continued throughout the day, expand. We did have 9:45 news come in, so I was waiting for that to happen first. We don't really get anything from that, right? So this kind of just does its thing. We have a nice expansion up here. London session highs get taken out, and so does previously highs get taken out too. So I'm here. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for us to. Well, ultimately, what I'm waiting for right after this expansion, what I was ideally looking for us to do is to come back into this 15-minute right here. So I'm gonna get rid of this 4 hour. What I was waiting for is for this 15-minute BPR gap to get tapped into, right? Great draw on liquidity for us, right? From there, once again, we expand up, we take a London session highs, right? But then we begin to start turning back down, right? After we take up London session highs, right? So at this point, I'm looking for us to come down, right? I'm looking for us to hopefully tap into the BPR gap, respect equilibrium of the move, and maybe take out the swing low down here as well, right? But then once we tap into equilibrium, right? What I'm looking here is that we have a nice rejection from this equilibrium level. I then look into the 1 minute, right, to maybe look for an entry. So one thing off bat I would want to discard is that I shouldn't depend. I depended on the equilibrium as a rejection point when I really should use it more as confluence. So if we tap into a, let's say, an FEG or a breaker block for whatever reason, and it's within equilibrium of the move, then it's kind of more additional confluence. But I unfortunately I did use it kind of wrong in the sense that I use it solely as my only confluence. I technically used this 1 minute inversion right here, right? So we got this 1 minute inversion, right? We inverted, we even inverted this gap, and then we form a 1 minute gap right here. So my idea was like, okay, we tap into equilibrium. We had a nice rejection from it. We had a 1-2 candle FEG form in the 1 minute, right? And so I looked to take an entry at this BPR we left behind, right? For longs. Now, like I said, using equilibrium solely wasn't smart at all. Then once again, I was looking for an entry here pretty much, right? So bam, bam at the low, and then expanding towards the external high, this previously, and then the relative equal high sitting right above us. Yeah. That was my idea initially, right? Um, Also, the S&P had left relatively equal highs sitting above here, so I'm pretty sure we were looking to take longs here, right? So let's play out, right? We come back down here, right? We do tap into this level, but at this point, we inverse this BPR. Technically, we're still holding this FEG right here, but the fact that the BPR did not hold is kind of already like giving me bad signs. So realistically, I would have gotten stopped out. What I should have done is waited for this 15-minute BPR, at the very least this 15-minute gap to get tapped into. I should have waited for this 15-minute gap down here to get tapped in at the minimum, right? But I didn't, right? I assumed that EQ was going to be fine. I saw a nice rejection. Yeah, it was a good rejection, but it wasn't enough. So we expand upwards, right? We begin to trail back down. So we inverse this BPR gap. We tap down into this 30-second. We technically had this small little breaker block right here, but even that didn't hold either, right? We were supposed to get stopped out. The only reason I did not get stopped out, realistically speaking, is because we had an SMT form here with these lows on S&P, on the S&P, right? We had an SMT form right here. We took out these lows here. We did not right here. That's solely the only reason I did not get stopped out. Any other thing, I would have got stopped out, realistically speaking. After this, once again, we just kind of began to push up. I marked this up here as my break-even point right here. This was my break-even point. We tapped at this zone, and I was going to go break-even at the swing high. This swing was at a 101 RR, give or take. So usually at a 101 RR, I want to take partials, since, it's a 101 RR. Usually I probably aim for about 50%, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but ideally at 101 RR, and everything else is just a runner, right? So I let this run, right? So let's go to 1 minute, wherever it is. Hold on. Oh no, sorry. Yep. So 1 minute. Yep. So I let this run. I let this run. Eventually, we tap into break even. I take one contract off. I was in with three, so it's about 500. That's about 490 something, I think. I went in. I took a one contract off, and then from there we just kind of honestly consolidate a lot. We consolidate a lot. I go break even as well, and so let me just make sure that I break this even right here. Eventually, we tap into this gap right here. We kind of start once again playing around a little bit more. We respect the gap tank, especially yeah, we respect the gap tank speaking. Once again, we chop around a lot here. Eventually, we do tap into the external draw up here, and then eventually to the relative equal highs above us as well. It takes a while to get there. We do eventually get there. But honestly, it wasn't a good entry, all things considered. I definitely think I could have waited for a little bit more. I think the only reason I didn't get stopped out was because of the SMT because the S&P took out the low and Nasdaq it was like, no, we don't need it, so we just kind of went pushed up. Otherwise, I definitely would have got stopped out. So all things considered, once again, it wasn't a good entry, but I did make, I think, like 160 something on a day. So technically on the week, uh technically I'm break even ish. Yeah, I'm break even because my account ended up at like 100 around 100k, maybe like 100k and $11, but that's not really relevant. But yeah, basically I ended up at very small profit, but realistically because I made a lot, I made more on Tuesday. I made 300 bucks on Tuesday, lost it on Thursday, and then lost them on Wednesday and made it back today. I am now at around the same level, but because of the trailing that because of the of the trail in the accounts, technically I'm at a loss since I was at 100,300. I'm now at 100,000. Technically, I'm down 300 bucks because of the showdown. But technically I am break even, but realistically I'm not. But even though that's fine. Ignoring the trail down, at least I made back my profits. I mean back to my initial entry zone or what I started with. But yeah, honestly, I don't think consider this was a pretty bad entry. I should have waited for more confluence as a whole. Waited for something for the 5 minutes to show me something a little bit better here. I was looking for maybe a 5 minute retracement to this 5 minute gap right here, but never got it, and it is what it is. But yeah, so no real profit today, just besides that one contract. I wish I had maybe taken out two contracts because that way I would have gotten the 250 I need on a day for profits, but basically a break even on a day. And so hopefully next week we have better price action. We don't have much news coming in tomorrow per se. I mean next week, but yeah, hopefully we do better next week. And yeah, it's just